I'd rather go down in flames than to get second place, so.
Previously on Ultimate Mountain Athletes.
We definitely all have had our eye on Sienna.
You go, girl, do your thing.
Now that the athletes have reached the summit, it is time for the big mountain descent.
You 360'd in the middle of a timed run?
A little one, yeah.
And coming up,
Visibility is changing minute to minute.
She's going for it.
You're just barely holding on for life. And then after that, my legs were just shot.
Okay, we have our first athlete here ready to take on the Beacon Search Challenge.
Went in there, pretty confident.
That was the fastest time by far.
Welcome back to Ultimate Mountain Athlete. I'm Amy Ingerbretson.
and I'm Craig McMorris. We are at Silverton Mountain, well underway with our ski mountaineering portion of the ski events. Now, remember, 1,600 feet of ascension on skins. The athletes then take those off, boot pack the rest of the way.
And once they get to the top, this challenge is not over. They then need to descend the very mountain they just climbed up.
Time factors into the downhill. We have 3 judges to judge them on overall impression, line choice, and how well they can ski this face.
As you can see, conditions are variable, the skiing is variable, the weather's changing, and we still have athletes left to drop. Celeste Pomerantz is in the start gate.
3 athletes left to descend. Let's see how Celeste does.
We had heard that the first bit was like a bit gnar. That's all we heard. We didn't know what that meant. So I just like went in with speed.
I think everyone's gonna be a little cautious in this first part because of the warning of the ice.
Immediately was trying to shut it down because it was just ice. And then exited that couloir and was like, oh, I actually like can go above the grass, because I was debating just jumping over the like rocky grass section. I was like in the right spot to make it into the next couloir, and that was awesome. Like it was like really good snow, no ice. It was completely different than the first one. And then coming out of there, I feel like I just kind of got lost.
Okay.
Okay, just your intro from you with your name, where you're from, and what you do.
My name is Celeste Pomerantz, and I'm from Squamish, BC, and I'm a skier and mountain biker. I grew up on the North Shore of Vancouver. Our upbringing was very much just like my sisters and I, following my parents in whatever activities they wanted us to do. They were very tense about getting us into sports.
The first thing we did was expose her to all the things that we loved.
My dad kind of forced me into mountain biking. I hated it because I was the only girl in mountain bike camp. And I remember coming home from that first week and being like, I'm never doing this again. I hate mountain biking. I'm the only girl and the boys are bullying me and they put me in the back and this sucks. He was like, signed you up for the whole summer. It's cheaper than daycare. By the end of the summer, I was obsessed, and I've basically been obsessed since. It's been like a constant in my life, and I really thank my parents for prioritizing being into sports and pursuing them.
For my girls, it was very important that we expose them to the concept that women are capable of anything and everything. There was a World Cup mountain bike race in Vancouver, and we made sure that she was there for that, just to see, again, what women are capable of.
Yeah, so I've been skiing since I was probably like 4 or 5 years old. Got into ski racing when I was 7. I was progressing. I was going to all these races and going as hard as I could. I started taking it way too seriously and going way too hard and having a lot of accidents, having a lot of crashes, having a lot of failures and disappointments. Did that for 10 years. And right when I was graduating high school, I had to make the decision to go off to university or to continue ski racing, and I chose university. After my second year in university, I went to Calgary and got introduced to backcountry skiing. I just like took my like ski racing background and then what I'd learned from backcountry skiing and applied it to the terrain here. And yeah, that's been my history with skiing for the most part. I recently just moved to a new home in Squamish. We live right at the base of all the best mountain bike trails and in a really good part of town to access the ski hill. I feel like the climbing here is like not necessarily representative of what it's going to be like down there.
No, probably not.
You know, living in Squamish, there's a lot of professional athletes here, and it's really interesting because like a lot of them are my heroes from growing up. And before I moved out here, they were just my heroes. And now I can call them my friends, some of them my best friends.
You can tell that this is blank. You can tell that they have holds there.
They have holds there, which is nice.
My name's Alex Armstrong, and I'm Celeste's best friend and roommate.
Climbing is scary. It's honestly really scary. You feel like you're gonna get cheese grated at any moment, but it's really rewarding once you figure it out.
I think as a competitor, Celeste is really hard on herself. She doesn't have as strong of a climbing background, but she is absolutely a force and super, super strong and super, super brave. So I think she's gonna kill it there, even though it might be her weaker sport.
I'm not trying to say this in like a bad way, but I've never won anything. I was always about to be top 10 or about to be top 3 or like second place. So I was always like one down.
One of my favorite stories of Celeste is a very little girl, around 3 years old, is she was in a running race at school, and mid-race, she stopped and went, "Hi, Mommy, hi, Daddy," and that was more important to her than the competition. Her nickname is Sunshine. Sunshine really sums her up.
I'm like a second place person. But I've been really trying, especially with this, like to approach it from not thinking about it that way. Like I'm trying to have the mentality in my head, like it'd be great if you won. Like, don't think about coming second. Not super impressed with the way I was skiing in the second half. Yeah, I just should have done a better job at like thinking about my exit and thinking about like everything after the 2 chutes. And haven't competed in skiing since I was 17. So this was like my first time being like timed for a descent. And yeah, definitely was like, whoa, that's the feeling. Yeah.
That was the worst skiing I've ever done in my life. It was so variable.
Okay.
And hard, and my legs were tired, and yeah.
I was told by somebody that you had 2 liters of water in your bag when you started.
I do, and I also am now back here with
2 liters of water?
2 liters of water in my bag.
Okay, our second to last athlete, Kelsey, is in the start gate, ready to drop in.
So the downhill I was excited for because I like to go fast, and I know that I was also a little bit judged, and that's also kind of my specialty.
What do you anticipate?
I think we're gonna have some weird wind buffs, some good wind buffs, some ice. I'm gonna be ready for it all.
How do the legs feel?
Tired.
Yeah.
Really tired. Lungs are tired. I think I'm gonna be screaming by the end. I told myself go, as fast as you can, try to keep good technique. So dropped into Pope Chute, and it was awful.
We know it's icy and bumpy, like the fact that her skis are getting shattered around, but her upper body's moving really smoothly.
On pin bindings, you're just barely holding on for life. And then we get into Dope Chute, and all of the snow had kind of accumulated in there, and it was dope. It was awesome.
She's going for it.
I found a little cliff feature kind of thing I was able to pop off of, and then after that, my legs were just shot. My technique was out the window. I was just survival skiing all the way to the finish.
Good job.
Just getting through today was a huge accomplishment. It was rough.
Anna, darling, we've saved the best for last.
Yeah, I think there's a little pressure with that. Like, I want to prove to myself and what I'm capable of.
Overall, I'm feeling like this is the real deal, and it's hard physically just doing these sports, but it's also hard trying to compete and do really well in like one moment of time where it's like you have this one opportunity to like nail it, and I'm feeling the pressure a little bit more than I thought I would, and maybe a little bit of anticipation for some of the other events and wondering how it's gonna go.
trying to just, enjoy the friendships and the moments in between as much as possible because that's what's gonna stick with me. My legs! My legs are gonna fall off. Did you guys do any tricks?
The smallest.
Freaking overachiever!
So we just wrapped up the Skimo portion of the competition.
Yeah, I mean, everyone handled the conditions super well. It's definitely variable, and it's tiring ripping up the hill before you come down. So that started to show about halfway down people's runs for sure. A little bit of fatigue played into the scores.
I love this time of year because you can kind of do it all. Get up in the mountains, do some skiing, go fishing in the afternoon. I am ready for a rest day, though.
Happy birthday, dear Kelsey. Happy birthday to you. Oh my gosh, the camaraderie in this lodge has been unmatched. Like, we're all sharing everything, and every night's been like hanging out all together as a group and just laughing, like crying, laughing, and yeah, this is a good group for sure. Last night we were up laughing till bedtime, basically.
Everyone's trying to do their best, but at the same time, they don't let that, get in the way of like being good people.
We're all in this together. We're all suffering together. We're all, relaxing together.
You think you're gonna win?
I thought maybe I could before coming on the show, and now I'm feeling a little more apprehensive. I don't know. I don't know if I'll win or not.
I'll try.
Everyone here could win, so it's I'd rather go down in flames than to get second place, so yeah, we're going for the win.
Today, the athletes are having a rest day, but with a twist.
Yes, technically a rest day, but we leaned on the San Juan mountain guides to come up with an off-day activity. They said, beacon test.
Okay, everybody, good morning. Welcome. How's everybody feeling?
Depleted.
Well, we're not going to give you a full rest day. No. But obviously, we all know that these beacon drills, we practice rescue for the moments that, we want to have fun in the mountains, but you guys are all brushed up on skills because that's what makes you mountain athletes is you know how to respond when things don't go perfectly. And so we're going to put that to the test today.
Morning all, I'm Pat Ormond, head guide at San Juan Mountain Guides. How many folks have done beacon searches this year for practice? How many folks have done multiple beacon searches this year for practice?
Having a beacon practice like this is great because it's something we should be doing, all the time. You never know what kind of pressure you're going to be under when you're out there, and you want to be able to perform in every scenario because it's dangerous and it's scary and lives are on the line.
Molly and Nick, are you going to be keeping score throughout all this? Sienna, you're first. Let's go get ready.
My local Skimo team does a bunch of AVI classes, practice it multiple times a year to make sure that the whole team, all 70 of us, have it dialed, which I think it's a good way to keep interesting.
Okay, we have our first athlete here ready to take on the beacon search challenge. Sienna, you ready?
Yeah, so ready.
Judges, you ready?
We're ready.
Pat, San Juan Mountain Guys, you ready?
All good to go.
Sienna, you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go!
9, 8.6.
Just outside the lodge, the guides have buried 4 beacons with strike plates, so the athletes will have to find the beacon and then probe strike to find the beacon.
Strike!
Judges, what do we think?
First strike in
103.
about 1 minute, which is really impressive.
The real catch here, Craig, is they are going to have to find 4 beacons in under 7 minutes, which is very challenging.
Strike!
What's up for grabs? Of course, bragging rights. No competition points here today, but one of these athletes will win $1,500 cold hard cash.
0.7. Okay, right there.
Strike!
What's the time at now?
She's at about 4 minutes.
And this is a classic kind of situation where you find yourself in these flux lines.
Think of the beacon as the butterfly, and then its wings are the flux lines that come out of it, and it would follow that.
So that came up as a 4th flag.
You can be on the line, but pointed the wrong way, and the arrow's still pointing straight because you are on that line, but the numbers keep getting bigger. And that can throw a wrench in things. If you don't know to immediately turn around and get back on track, facing the correct way, it can slow you down.
0.9. It's my lowest.
Strike!
Time.
6 minutes and 13 seconds.
Well done, Sienna. Petersen, our first competitor, gets all 4 in the time limit of 7 minutes.
It was like cool to watch everyone and kind of see just how they reacted to so many of the beacons being close together. Like me, Thorne, and McRae all got taken back to the same one twice.
Strike?
That was the same one.
What?
That's the one you just found.
I marked it, I thought. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. Is this marker just not working then?
Even though this is a friendly competition, the athletes understand the gravity of honing these skills.
Yes, energy, focus, determination, all on full display here. And this challenge is really anyone's to take.
Every year we do this annual clinic called IPRIW, International Pro Rider Workshop. Good learning lesson for me every single year, getting that opportunity to train with these guys. And I think I've been to 7 or 8 of those. Beacon drills are something I'm familiar with.
3, 2, 1.
Avalanche! No signal. Okay, 25 meters.
Went in there pretty confident because I knew that I had done a beacon drill of a similar fashion before. And I actually got the probe strike first hit, but then our chaperone didn't quite hear it. And then went to the find search and then ended up finding it again, the same spot. Marked that, and I had a good path right after that.
Parkin is blazing through this San Juan mountain guide test. He wants that $1,500.
Hit. Went down to the bottom right corner, and there was 2 more beacons that I was getting double signals, which is always confusing.
I have been a part of some avalanche training scenarios with Parkin, so I know that he is thinking, I know they're going to try to trick me with close proximity, and he's our first athlete that was on that.
Strike.
Still had a 2-meter reading, which means that your other guy's right near there.
Strike. Yep.
That was the fastest time by far.
Yeah, it came in a couple minutes faster than anyone so far.
I think I came out at 4:11, which was pretty good. And then rest of the crew, it was definitely a tough course.
That's time.
That's time?
Time.
Okay.
Time.
Good job, Kelsey!
This is just showing how hard this challenge is.
Parkin putting the rest of the field on notice. 4 beacons in just over 4 minutes. It's ridiculous.
Unbelievably impressive, but we still have 1 athlete left to take on this challenge. Carter Krasny. Can he do it? Can he beat Parkin's time?
My name's Carter Krasny. I'm from Whistler, BC. I'm a professional mountain biker, skier, and recreational climber. Whistler, BC, pretty much the best place to grow up as a kid. Evan and Jack, I ended up being super close friends with them from 2015, and we're still riding together.
It's looking nice and tan.
Come home from school, play in the forest, ride my bike.
He grew up outside, and when I mean he grew up outside, he literally was outside the whole time. He was a free-range kid, and he just ran amok through the neighborhood.
When you're a kid, everything feels so big. It was like you're on the moon up there.
He doesn't stop moving. I think he's probably broken most of his friends who come for family visits.
Pushing yourself to your absolute limit as an athlete is dancing on the line of you're about to explode, but you're just holding it together. It's kind of weird, but you just kind of crave that feeling of just going really fast and basically just being on the limit. The first racing I got into, it's called the Toonie race, every Thursday in Whistler. The goal was just to finish. It felt like the hills just went on forever. I definitely cried a few times as a kid doing those, but made you stronger. Me and my friends definitely got more competitive racing those, trying to beat each other. And then eventually started doing these enduro races. They were only timing you on the downhill. We're like, oh, this seems way cooler. That sparked my racing career. Never cracked the podium, but I had some podium stage results, top 6 in Italy. Continued racing into elite men. In 2022 Enduro World Cup in Whistler, I was kind of on the run of my life. I was just in the full flow state. Every corner was perfect. Finished 6th on that stage and kind of showed that I do have like that top level speed. To date, that's like my best race ever. Yeah, I'm super proud of that, yeah. My best season was 2024. I ended up 30th in the overall. After that, I kind of decided to pivot and start doing more freeride biking and video projects. I think after you have a bad crash, the mental side of getting back the confidence to be where you were again, it definitely takes a bit. I lacerated my kidney. Yeah, I cracked ribs. That was just the most painful thing. And having a bruised lung felt like you were getting stabbed in the chest. Yeah, when you maybe push a bit too hard and explode, it's a bit of a wake-up call to tone it back a little bit. Racing can be a bit draining sometimes. Pretty much the whole year you just have to be really focused on training for the race season. And I kind of just wanted to ski powder all winter, which maybe isn't the best training for biking. Yeah, with Ultimate Mountain Athlete, when I first heard about it, I looked into it and I was like, this is so cool. Like, I've always felt like my love for skiing's kind of like hurt my biking, and my biking has kind of like hurt my skiing in a way, but they also like make you better at both. So to have a contest where we're doing biking, skiing, and climbing, I get to compete in 3 things. I'm actually really excited for that.
Next time on Ultimate Mountain Athlete.
Judges, are you ready?
We're ready.
Carter?
Yeah, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go!
He's aggressive, takes chances.
Let's go, Carter!
If I'm ever in that situation, I want to just be as dialed as possible to, yeah, save my friends pretty much.
There were 2 times that were incredible. With our rest day officially over, it's time to head south to Durango, Colorado to our 3 mountain biking events.
Oh my God!
My girlfriend thinks it looks like baby puke.
Gross.
Okay.
I know.
Anyway.
How are you feeling?
How you feeling? I'm depleted.
Chrissy, turn.
Jeez. There you go. Downhill skiing with skins. Let's go.